Before we jump into today's topic, a quick disclaimer. The stories and data we share come from the states that we practice in and the experiences that we personally had, which can differ greatly across our country and certainly the globe. This is not a professional advice show. So let's get comfy and talk about death.
Hello and welcome to Mort Mike.
A down-to-earth discussion on death and dying.
I'm Brandy.
And I am Red, and we are your gruesome gourmands this week.
Ooh.
Tasty.
I love a gourmand.
So nosh. Grub, victuals, food. The human condition demands fuel, and boy, do we here in America get down with some scrumdiddly-umptious cuisine. But sometimes our treats can bite us back. It may save your life to think twice about that gas station egg salad sandwich.
Oh, God.
You know? Maybe, though, just maybe, you'll get some cool powers from it, like in that episode of Futurama. So
I wish.
As we were looking up things for this episode, I wanted to kind of avoid the low-hanging fruit topics, such as like obesity-related deaths total 2.8 million per year worldwide, or 178K people die in the U.S. from alcohol abuse yearly. That's kind of what we're trying to avoid today. Everybody already knows the danger of those for the most part, so we're going to talk about just some other things, get a little more in detail about creepy crawlies of all shapes and sizes that are inside of what you eat.
I have to say this topic is truly one of my biggest fears. I hate bloodborne illness, foodborne illness, all of the illness that you can get from other people being irresponsible, essentially. You have no control of whether or not you're going to get something from a food that you're served at a restaurant. You just have to be like, okay, yeah, I accept that.
Yeah, it's like when you try to peek around the corner into the back and see, like, does that look like a ball-scratching chef or not?
They all do.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. It's all of them.
I mean, shit, like, even with our jobs and having to be as sterile as we are, like, being so hyper-aware of what you're touching, like, I when I started, I didn't wear gloves outside of the OR, like, when I'd be just walking through doors and stuff, until I started to see, like, you never know. Sometimes you have touched something with your gloves on, then go touch the door handle, and it's like, nope, I do not trust touching surfaces anywhere outside of the OR anymore. Like,
I wish I'd gotten that. I wish I was. I think, well, I don't know. Your funeral home, so I was morgue, and I really at the morgue, it was disgusting. Everything was gross, so I did wear gloves at all times. But when I got to tissue stuff, I was like, this seems a lot cleaner, so I guess I'm fine.
That is true. Like, in comparison to the most filthy place on earth, yes,
yeah.
It is a great improvement.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah, I'm disgusting. You know what? I'll admit it, and I still have that fear. Will I change? Abso-fucking-lutely not. I am who I am. I was actually just apologizing, and I should probably apologize to you for being so type B that it's to a point of fault. I gotta get something organized here.
But no, same thing for food. I do not trust other human beings to have my best interests at heart. Like, listen, I've worked minimum wage jobs before. It's like, it's hard to pay somebody enough at that level to give a shit about everything they're serving. I get it.
Absolutely.
I really do.
But
doesn't make it any less scary.
Exactly.
To be getting foodborne illness.
And I will never, ever trust a grocery store potato salad. Ever. You can't convince me.
You mean like in the case?
Yeah.
Or okay, that makes sense, yes.
No way.
Yeah, no, I understand. Like, I think even Walmart doesn't really do it anymore, I don't think. Does Meijer still? Because I can only assume that if it wasn't under a heat lamp and for a long time.
Oh my God, that just gave me chills.
It's a good thing they're doing away with it. Like, prepackaged, cool, but
absolutely, I'm fine with that. Give it to me all day. But when it's sitting in that cooler thing, when's the last time they washed that stuff out. I don't believe it.
They haven't.
Haven't.
Like, even think about like your work refrigerator. Think about it.
The one by my office is so gross. I actually went to like put my Red Bull in there the other day, and I like went to sit it down, and I just saw all the grime, and I was just kind of just like moving it around place to place, like, where's the least amount of grime? I really want this to be cold later.
Yeah, humans are just gross. Like, every time I would try to frequently clean out the refrigerator in the funeral home, because I worked with a bunch of adult children, essentially. And
old ass children. Yeah.
Old ass children, some old ass fucking kids, and just food sitting in there for months at a time, growing all sorts of cultures of things, like just food from like what I can only assume to be like the early aughts, like in the freezer, like please.
Oh my God.
I'm surprised more people don't get sick, to be honest. But
absolutely.
I think maybe a good place to start, outside of the little creepy crawlies that are inside of the food that get us sick, what about food itself? Can you die from food itself? And oh boy, are there many ways to die from food itself.
Yeah, you definitely can. My most dangerous food encounter was at work. We've had a couple of donors, at least 2 that I know of, come in covered in corn because they fell into a corn silo and suffocated.
Are you serious? 2 seems like a lot. I mean, like, just in our area that we cover, you've done 2?
I feel like, I mean, our area is kind of the area if it's happening. I feel like it does make sense. Like, it's got to be more above average for corn silos.
I just would have assumed that would be more of like a wouldn't you be aware of the dangers of the corn silo if you were one that operated one? Like, that's crazy that you've seen 2.
So my feeling is that it has to be like they're older men, and so I assume that like maybe they're lugging something heavy up to the top of the corn silo, and they have a heart attack and they fall in. That's what I think probably happens.
Old Farmer Johnson, Old McDonald or whatever.
His heart couldn't take it no more. Because, I mean, that's what happens to, 60% of the tissue donors at least is an older white dude who died of a heart attack. So, like,
between
the things
40
that
and
can
60,
and so the things that can happen, like, to lead up to a heart attack, lifting heavy objects, mowing your lawn, shoveling snow, like, those are all things. So that makes sense to me that, like, they'd be up at the top of that thing, they're freaking huffing and puffing, and then it goes and they just fall in.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's seen that, probably that video of like the pigeon landing in the corn and just getting swallowed up. Like the visual of just an old man having the same thing happen.
And if it's like operating, because like it's the pressure, at the bottom that pulls it from the top. So if it were to be open, like they would just get sucked right in.
That's true. And then it just like not even just not having air to breathe, but it crushing you so your lungs can't expand to like is wild. I have a fear now of corn, and specifically in a silo.
Yeah, okay. I think the fear of silos is honestly real because 2 is too many.
Yeah, 2, and that just seems like that's just crazy.
And that's you think crazy. Like of the deaths that we see, some are incredibly traumatic. They happen outside. They happen on beaches. Like we were talking about that earlier. They can be incredibly dirty. The corn silos are so much worse.
The corn dust, just
everywhere.
Dusty. Oh, dude. Just corn wedged in the butt cheeks.
Yes.
Like, it's
in the belly button.
Oh, no. It's the dirt.
In pockets. Like, go to take off their pants and just corn goes flying out of their pockets.
Did you have to count the kernels of corn for your
thank God.
Personal effects record?
No. That would have been my reason to quit. I would have been like, you know what? I dealt with all the other shit. This is my 13th reason right here.
So when you mentioned corn being something that killed people, I really was not necessarily expecting it in this way. More so what I'm about to mention is more so eating contest, right? So everybody's probably seen something online or on TV of like hot dog eating contest, just like large amounts of food. Like I don't know about anybody else.
What's the guy's name?
Kobayashi. I was just about to say that's my fucking man. No, not Kobayashi.
No, but I'm excited to hear about it. But no, I was thinking about the hot dog guy. What's his name?
Kobayashi.
He's I thought he was a white guy.
Joey Chestnut?
Joey Chestnut!
Joey Chestnut.
I thought we were talking about Joey Chestnut. All right, I'm ready to hear about Kobayashi.
Joey Chestnut looks like he's doing pretty well for himself too. All right.
Yeah.
I think Chestnut and Kobayashi faced off at one point.
Oh. I wonder if that's what made Chestnut retire, because I think he's done. I think last year was his last Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
Oh my God, this is so wild. I just looked up them together, and there's like, for wrestling posters for upcoming fights and stuff, they have one for Chestnut versus Kobayashi.
Yes.
It's a Netflix live event called Unfinished Beef.
Oh.
I'm fucking dying.
I need that poster immediately. I want it on my wall.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing. But yeah, so absolutely love competitive eaters. It's fascinating and disgusting to watch all at the same time. Mm-hmm. Very cool. But obviously with anything, there's a little bit of a danger that comes with competitive eating. And it is because of not the eating a lot of like volume of food necessarily, which I mean, of course, like, yeah, that can be dangerous if it pushes your organs around or whatever, but it's choking. It's choking while having all of this food go down your windpipe at like 2 hot dogs a second or whatever these guys are doing. It's the choking that kills a lot of these people in food related contests. So not just hot dogs, but there are some other ones where it was like taco eating contests.
But I've seen those dog eating contests, and man, those are nasty when they dip it like in the water. How could you not be choking on that? It's like literally compacting it all down.
Exactly. So you have this like super doughy like mass you're trying to swallow. The hot dogs themselves, if they're not chewing that at all enough to be able to like swallow it without it like just lodging itself in a windpipe or
Do you think they have to like stretch their throats beforehand?
They have to. There's got to be exercise.
Do they make
there's
got to be an
dilators?
Ew. I bet they do medically.
That's so gross.
I'm not gonna look that one up.
Yeah, there's probably got to be some type of like workup they got to do, like some training montage shit they have to do in order to successfully eat
Take
that
a
many
sword
hot dogs.
swallowing class.
Oh, here's one where some dude ate. You have to do like 50 eggs or something. No. And he choked on eggs and died.
Oh,
yeah.
I can't do the egg eating contest. That is vile. How are the eggs cooked?
My first thought is like they have to be hard boiled, right?
Yeah, like, you got because like that's got to be the easiest to just pop them in.
Because if you had to like put them all in a cup and drink it, like, okay, we're not going to talk about that. I don't want to think about that.
Oh my God.
I don't want to think about like the Rocky Balboa workout method version of that.
Horrible.
Yeah, it's got to be hard boiled. That's horrible. But yeah, besides that, there's also one I found, and I'm going to give you one guess as to what state this happened in. Man dies after winning roach eating contest to win snake.
Whoa.
What state did this happen in?
Florida.
You're goddamn right.
I don't think you could get that one wrong.
Yeah, the poor guy. It was a contest at a
snake?
local reptile store. He wanted to win a little python.
Oh my God.
It was an expensive one too. It was like a $800 python, but all you had to do is like eat a shit ton of roaches and worms, and they're like the food safe ones, or at least they're reptile safe, I should say, for them.
Yeah. I was going to say, apparently not, because he died.
He died, yeah.
What did he die of? Like,
so that's the interesting part, right? They really don't know why, because like a lot of countries eat insects, right? Like,
that's what I was thinking.
And it wasn't choking, but I mean, there was speculation based on like, well, they are bugs and they do eat all sorts of stuff and transmit disease through poopies and stuff that are still in like their
and
their
you can't
gut.
guarantee whoever's breeding these roaches didn't just like pick them up off the ground to start.
Right, yeah, because, again, they are made for reptiles. These are the food grade, like, grasshoppers and stuff that we would eat are obviously processed differently
I've
than
had
reptiles.
grasshoppers.
So have I. I've had beetles. I had, like, this beetle soup before. It was fucking sick, actually,
Interesting.
like, in a good way. So,
Nice.
bugs aren't bad, but yeah, apparently this guy did not have a good time. He, like, died and collapsed on site.
Sorry, bro.
Poor guy. He won, but unfortunately did not live long enough to see the fruits of his labor, which is
So no
a
snake
super
for
bummer.
him. So that
No
guy forced a man to eat a bunch of roaches and got to keep a snake.
Yeah, there's a bunch of other people that joined too, so I can only assume it went to like the second runner up. Unfortunately, like
That's horrible. Do you think they named the snake after the guy that died?
aw, that would be really nice,
Commemorate
right?
him for all his hard work. That man should be in jail. He's like a professional bully. Like that's what I feel like our high school bullies grew up to do. Like shit like that. Make a bunch of
Roaches
people
or the snake
for an $800 snake. Like yeah, it's an expensive snake, but like in the grand scheme of things, $800 in this economy. Come on.
Yeah, that just seems like that is not a contest that you see crop up very often. Probably for a good reason. So yeah, it's a little deranged. I'm not gonna lie.
Only slightly.
Yeah, really besides the roach thing, it's the choking that's a problem. And I was really digging for this because like your logic brain would be like, okay, there's got to be one of these motherfuckers in these contests that is eating so much so quickly, like even if they didn't train or stretch or whatever the fuck you have to do, their stomach just rips open and they die. And no, that's not a thing I could find anything on. Like
Damn.
I was a little surprised that wasn't something that I was able to get like some good actual news sources. Like everyone's probably familiar at one point or another with a video that's come across their TikTok, their Facebook, that's like about mukbangs, like these tiny skinny little Asian women or Ukrainian dudes or whatever eating just 10,000 calories in a sitting or something. Like you'd think, yeah, how is their body going to be able to eat all this shit? And bro, they are just built different. Mm-hmm. They don't die from it. There's a really stupid headline I kept seeing. It was like 24-year-old foreign extreme eater dies, and it's just like this picture of like morbidly obese person, like whatever, like dies during live stream. Like that's fake news. It's a fake fucking article. Like it didn't happen. So y'all can erase that shit from your minds. People aren't dying of that. But no, the unfortunate, less interesting truth of the matter is that choking is going to be the most deadly aspect of extreme eating, or just eating in general. Like so, like for any numerophiles out there, it's around 5,500 people a year that will die in the United States by choking on food, and it's usually the really young or the very old that are the ones that die of it. So we all know how like kids like to put all sorts of shit in their mouth and they don't know better, or older people just have reduced ability and more difficulty swallowing, things like that.
Grapes, man. They kill kids and old ladies.
Yep, seriously. We did end up having a funeral. It was like right before I switched careers, that we buried a poor guy that choked on a hot dog.
No.
Yeah. I have bad news for anybody out there that loves their meat tubes of, was it lips and assholes or whatever?
I'll never stop. You can tell me exactly every single disgusting thing that is in that dog, and I'm going to eat it.
It is deadly. They are deadly, man. They are the most deadly food. That or our own hubris for wanting to eat so many of them in a hot dog contest. Like, but no, seriously, it's like not hot dogs. I almost said raw, but like
raw dogs.
The unchanged shape of a hot dog, dangerous. Cut into coins, like for kids, a lot of people will cut them into the coins size. Deadly. Fucking shit's deadly.
What?
You like weenies and beanies? Deadly.
Oh my god, I loved weenies and beanies as a kid. I ate that shit all the time.
right out the can because I'm nasty like that.
Oh, you had like the weenies and beanies in the can. Wow,
Yeah,
that's advanced actually.
poor.
Well, see, and we did it the other poor way where we had the 50 pack of dogs and you had to cut the
that
dogs
cost,
up
like,
yourself.
$2 or something for the whole
Save
pack
a lot.
somehow.
Yeah. That's what we were rocking with.
Hell yeah. No, hot dogs, so bad for you. Grapes were also on there, absolutely.
Yep.
That was so sad to hear because I'm like, dude, I love hot dogs too, man. But they got it
All
out for
summer
us,
long.
like for real.
So also bringing it back to like the youth and the elderly are the main victims. I was working at the morgue and there had been a case, I think it was like right before I had started there. And our like chief MEO had to go and testify because he didn't believe that it was like natural that this person died of choking because they were like 32-year-old woman who died like in the middle of or having come back from the bathroom after dinner and like she just all of a sudden choked after having a perfectly fine meal the entire time. And so he was like ruling it was either homicide or from something else. I thought that was crazy because the indication is, why is this young person dying of choking like they shouldn't if they're not ingesting food quickly like, Joey Chestnut does.
Yeah. No, that I mean, obviously that is a good medical examiner should be red flagged by that just a little bit.
Yeah.
But no, it can happen to anybody. Like for real, like do not fly too close to the sun, Icarus, when it comes to hot dogs.
Make sure you have your wits about you when you're slobbing on them dogs.
Keep your head on a swivel at the family
Literally.
barbecue.
Yeah, but slow down. Keep that swivel slow so you don't choke on it.
I know that some people take pride in like, oh, I'm CPR trained and all that stuff. If somebody like collapses or heart attack and all that stuff, that's good to have in your back pocket for sure. But how many people properly know how to do the Heimlich? So that is also something very valuable to know because it changes based on the like age and things like that. So like an infant would need to be Heimlicked different than like your grandpa. And so like when I was looking up, you know what? Like I should know how to do the Heimlich, right?
Yeah.
So I could
It's
look
brutal
it up.
for babies.
I just like, why was it that I thought that
You weren't expecting it?
I wasn't expecting that the infants was going to be the way it was, especially because like without the picture, like all it says is that infants need to be held upside down for their back blows because you need to do back blows in between like the actual pressing on the abdomen. And so I was just like, yeah, you just grab them by the ankles and you're just
Not that kind of upside down.
yeah,
The other upside down.
They're up. In all fairness, they are upside down. But
They are.
I'm so happy that I got sterilized. There's no reason I should have a child. Clearly,
That is so good. Yeah, don't hold a baby by their ankles and try and shake out the food. You're gonna give them shake and baby syndrome on top of the problems that they're already gonna have in their esophagus. All right, cool. Well, yeah, I will make sure you are not babysitting. Got it.
yes, yep. Auntie's not gonna come over and babysit anytime soon.
Oh my god, so funny.
Okay, but I would be remiss if I didn't at least mention more specifically on how for an adult or an older child how to do the Heimlich. And I probably should insert this before all that. We are not trained medical professionals. This is something that you can actually take classes for and should advise yourself by actual professionals if you want the fully fledged version of that. But this is just a quick retelling of some websites that we have gathered this information from. So yes,
I took Girl Scout first aid, so that sounds trained to
close
me.
enough.
No, yeah, you're 100% right. Not trained. I just know human anatomy really well.
I wish there was like a cool like, here's a little song that we have prepared for you out there that are trying to learn how to. Yeah, see, I'm gonna just cut it right there. That was enough. I know my place in it is not behind the microphone in that fashion. The bars are not there.
Okay, understood.
So if you are for sure that somebody is choking real easy to tell if they're holding their throat with their hands, coughing or not able to cough, panicked and confused, which that's just me on a daily basis.
For
but,
sure.
If their like lips are turning blue, just like no oxygen coming in, stuff like that. You should obviously not always take things in your own hands first, call 911. But if you have now graduated all of those steps and it is time to Heimlich, this is how you would do it. So you're going to position yourself either to the side or the back behind the choking person, and you're going to give back blows first. So using the heel of your hand, and you'll strike 5 times between their shoulder blades. If that doesn't help, have them stand up straight, and you're going to bend your knees slightly so you don't like suplex the person on accident.
Or throw your own back out.
Correct. Proper lifting techniques here. And yep, you'll bend your knees for balance, and then you'll give 5 abdominal thrusts. So right underneath like where the diaphragm is, I believe, you'll pull inward and upward 5 times, and basically just kind of go back and forth. If they haven't spit out whatever it is, back blows, abdominal thrusts. Please don't like crush the shit out of their ribs after a few times. Like there is, just with CPR, you can do it too much.
And the diaphragm's a lot higher than you think it is. Think
Correct.
about like when you have hiccups, where it tightens. It's like midpoint on your chest. It's not like in your actual abdomen. That's where, you know, all your belly organs are. You want to hit them perfect on that diaphragm, because that's going to literally cause that muscle to spasm the other way that it refuses to spasm to let go of that food.
Beautifully said. All right. So now that we are semi-trained in choking theory here, there actually was one case that I was able to find that was well documented, because that's the whole thing, right? Like it's got to be well documented. I don't want to just go by these clickbait articles and stuff that say people's stomachs have burst apart.
Yeah.
But there was one that I was able to find that was actually like a scientifically written paper with an abstract and all that good stuff. And it was interesting to see. So this 21-year-old female was admitted to the emergency room. She had a history of eating disorders, and she had an acute gastric dilation that ended up causing her stomach to like split, and that she actually did die. Which is very unfortunate, and I can only imagine so extremely painful.
Very painful. Yeah, that has to be.
Yeah, especially with like how much she had, like when she was bouncing between anorexia and bulimia, so like not eating, but then also like binge eating. So with like a stomach that's not trained for constant binge eating, like she was set.
Just think about how uncomfortable your stomach gets when you've eaten too many slices of pizza. Like I can't imagine how it feels when it's physically like tearing.
Yeah, it's I if you want to click that link, Brandy, and scroll down, they do have a X-ray of it and what it looks like in the cavity. It is insane how much space her stomach is taking up inside the cavity. Like, yeah.
Oh my God, it's literally pushed her liver up and out of the way.
Yeah, like her liver essentially is where her lungs should be.
Yeah.
The top of the lung. It's like right below her heart.
Yeah, like it probably was compressing her aorta.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And yeah, she couldn't throw up, because that's what they try to have you do, right? Is like if you can throw up some of it. But she was not having any of the reactions, like from, like couldn't put anything in to get her to throw up, couldn't like physically make her throw up. And having to do surgery on that too is so touchy. Like that's not an easy surgery to do. Like
I don't know how anybody would survive it. Like I get like pumping your stomach from like alcohol poisoning and being able to get the toxins out that way, but like
sure,
that's just literally physical weight inside of you.
Yeah.
Like those people that like do extreme like sex shit where they like tear their genitals up and shit. That's what it like almost reminds me of. Like you've just done this physical damage that will never, no matter even if you survive it, you'll never be the same.
Right. Yeah. I learned a new term during reading this paper. It's called ACS, which is abdominal compartment syndrome, which is what she had. Like, it's a serious condition where increased pressure in the abdominal cavity leads to organ dysfunction, and boy howdy, those organs were fighting for space in there. I'll tell you what,
they definitely were.
I was able to find this article on the National Library of Medicine, and yeah, if you just look up acute gastric dilation causing fatal outcome in young female with eating disorder, a case report, you can read through it, because it's a very interesting read, I will tell you that much. It's a Korean Journal of Anesthesiology. So yeah, so there is a possibility for that to happen, but it is under very rare circumstances that it would. So
absolutely. Wow.
We have learned quite a bit today on the dangers of eating, but in a way that I did not expect.
That it took a lot of different dips, dives, and turns. I wasn't expecting to end with woman's stomach tears apart.
Neither was I. This yet again another episode where I'm probably gonna have to put a content warning in the description. So
I'm
lots of stuff here. I think we've only begun to scratch the surface here with how much we can talk about in relation to food and the dangers thereof and the deaths thereof. So I think we're going to wrap it up this week on Mort Mike and continue in a month's time. So connect with us on our socials at Facebook and YouTube at Mort Mike Podcast. And if you have any suggestions on topics you'd like to hear about or burning questions you might have about death, shoot us an email at mortmikepodcast@gmail.com. I'd also like to take a quick second to thank our donor and listener, Sunshine, who donated to last year's fundraiser and won the raffle to be able to select today and next month's episode. So thank you again so much, Sunshine.
A huge thanks to Marsa Music for our theme Deputies of Death and Macklin Legan for our custom icons and banners.
And be sure to tune in the first Thursday of every month for some more casual discussions on death. Thank you so much for listening. This has been Mort Mike.
Bye.
Bye.